Hello everyone, my name is Akash Chandragupta and welcome to this very first lecture on operating system. So this is a new series of lecture on operating system subject. In this series of lectures we will learn everything related to operating systems, every concepts, and we will solve most importantly related problems which will give you insight into the various varieties of questions asked in exams, both in GATE as well as university exams. So let's just go ahead and start. The very first questions which we encounter when we start operating system is what is an operating system? So I hope you have used computer systems before. The operating system is a system software that manages the computer hardware. So basically, when you use any computer system that might have Windows installed or Linux or Mac, whichever operating system, those operating system are just an interface. All right, you don't basically interact with the operating system. What we do is we run application softwares. These application softwares needs operating system to do low level executions, program executions like accessing the disks, all right, then managing the main memory and etc. So we will see those things in more detail as we continue, but in this very first lecture we need to keep it as simple as possible. So operating system is a system software that manages the computer hardware. So the computer hardware, maybe uh, computer resource would be the most precise word for this. So the computer resources are main memory, all right, disk, and cache memory. So all these are computer resources which use USB ports. All these are computer resources which operating system allows access to your application softwares. So the next point, operating system act as an intermediary between the user and the computer hardware. So you interact with the operating system, and operating system on your behalf does the low level tasks. For example, when you open your file explorer and you just browse through your files in your system, so what you are doing is basically mouse clicks, but behind that there are a lot of low level programming uh, programs being executed to make it happen for you and make it as simple as possible for you, which can be done through just mouse clicks. So let's just see the functions of an operating system. So operating system can be a resource allocator. All right, you don't uh, you don't directly access the computer resources. You request for the resource to the operating system, and operating system allocates that resource to you or your program. So allocation of resources to various processes is managed by operating system. So this is also a security check, you can say, because it should not happen that one process use up all your computer resource, all your a simple program say use up all your RAM, then that wouldn't be a good situation. So operating system come in between this, and it takes the charge of allocating the resources to various processes. Next function of operating system is accounting. Operating system is also responsible for keeping the track of the various computer resources. So for example, uh, a process in your computer system a process in a computer system has used two USB ports. All right, a process, an application program is using two USB ports. So computer system knows that this particular program and this particular process of that program is using this USB port. So operating system maintains a list of various computer resources in use or free. All right, so at the end of the day, operating system is the one who will allocate you the resource, and operating system also keeps account that how much resources you are currently using. All right, protecting, this is a very important function we will come across in the later lectures, that protection is also a very important function of operating system, whereby in a multi-programming environment, when there are two or more programs running on your system. For example, you are browsing internet and at the same time you are listening to music. So two programs are running on your system concurrently. In modern day computers, almost all of them have multi-programming environment. So but this multi-programming environment, multitasking doesn't comes so simply. It has some pitfalls, uh, and it has some complexity associated with it. So when two or more processes are working when two or more processes are executing concurrently, then it should not happen that one process is affecting or interfering with the execution of the other process. This may lead to a situation called race condition. We will see this race condition in detail when we will talk more about the process synchronization, very important topic related for your university as well as gate exams. All right, so I can give you a brief idea. So here in race condition, the definition says that when two or more processes are trying to access a hardware resource, computer resource, at the same time, then the order of execution determines the result, which should not be the case. The result should always be the same irrespective of the order of execution of the process. Suppose, for example, if process P1 executed first and then process P2, then it will give one result for this situation. And if process P2 is executed first and then P1, then it will give another result, which is not a desired situation to be. All right, so this was all about the functions of an operating system. So basic unit of execution in a computer system is process. So what is a process? A process is nothing but program under execution. This is very important line to notice, that the code which you write in your text editors, that's not a process. That's just simply a text called as program. All right, when you execute your code, then your program becomes process. Alright, process have lots of complexity other than just code. Process has to maintain registers, stacks, etc. Many more things process needs to maintain, but program is just piece of text. Alright, program resides on the disk. This is one important point. When you are when you have written a program and you have kept it at some place in your disk, then that is a program. When you double click your program and you try to run it, then that program moves to main memory, and thereby it starts its execution. A program cannot be run directly from disk. Keep this in mind. To run any program, we first need to bring that program from disk to main memory. Anything in main memory can only be executed. Alright, so when we bring the program from disk to main memory, and then that becomes a process. Alright, program is an active entity. Actually, there's a mistake here. Program is a passive entity because it's just a piece of code which is not under execution. Alright, so it's a passive entity, but whereas process should be an active entity because it is under execution. It is performing some work upon some inputs given by the user. Alright, so it's an active entity. Here is an example. This for loop, which is running for the values of I from 0 to 9, which is 10 total loops execution. Alright, as a program it contains only one multiplication, because if you consider this as just text, then here you can find only one multiplication symbol. So as a program it contains one multiplication, but if you run this code, then it becomes a process, right? So but when this code runs, it will the multiplication will be executed 10 times. So as a process it contains 10 multiplication. Alright, alright, I hope this is clear up till this point. We will look more into the process blocks and process control blocks and many more things in our next lecture. Thank you. Hope you like it. Thank you very much.